What's going on, gentlemen? Tonight is a moment for self-reflection. Matter of fact, let's shed a little light on this subject. I could have been a predator. And I am a little sympathetic to R. Kelly. I know that sounds really crazy, but hear me out. I guess I need to start with what I've done. When I was doing my Craigslist protocols hot and heavy, I would get a ton of high school girls answering my ads. And typically, I ignored them. Because even though I have a similar appetite to R. Kelly, I like young women. But I don't like children. But this is how a child tricked me. Typically, they would be young. There would be lots of signs that this girl was very young. And I would just ignore her. And this one girl, she answered the ad. We started to talk, and she was an exceptionally mature 17-year-old. Let me say this again. This chick was 17. Her conversation was different. She actually was a hairdresser. And she answered my ad, and I fucked her. And oh my God, she had these amazingly firm double D titties. That should have been my clue, because when she would lay on her back, they would stand up, and they were not fake titties. That should have been my clue. But you know, I was caught up in the delicious pussy, and she did everything I wanted her to do. Then one of the things that I would do is I would do social media search on all my chicks, just out of curiosity.
Thank you so much for joining me on RadioTubeTV.com. I'm your host, DJ Harmony, and today we're going to talk about Glendon Cameron. He's definitely one of the hottest topics online. Along with Hassan Campbell, he must be drinking again, because at this point he's on his live talking crazy. So I actually had a couple videos. I held them back because I don't really like, being messy and just trying to make people look bad, because that's not my goal. My goal is to kind of, provides a reaction, obviously, to the situation. And then let's take a step back and just kind of analyze why, this person's doing what they do, like Littlefinger, and say what they say, do what they do, and why they, move the way they move. He might not have said that, but I'm going to add that in. I am a Game of Thrones fan, but ultimately, Glendon Cameron is a YouTube type entrepreneur style type channel, Capital Citizen, as well as other channels that I don't care to look up, because I really don't want to promote any of his other stuff. Now, at this point, if you want to figure that out, you can search it out online. Now, Glendon Cameron went on his own account, on his own channel, and sat there and said that he dated 15-year-old girl and another 16-year-old girl, and their mother sent nasty pictures to him, and he went over to their apartment, and that he effed the other girl on the couch. Then he turned around, the mother.
So I'm like doing my social media search, and I find her Facebook page, and I see her with her high school friends, and I'm like, oh shit. So I call her up, and I ask her, because she told me she was 21. That's what she told me. And I was like, serious question. And at this time, I had fucked this chick 10, 15 times. And you cannot unfuck a chick. You can't unfuck her. And I was like, I need you to tell me something. How old are you? And then she got very silent, and she said, I'll be 18 in 4 months. Then she also said the age of consent in Georgia is 16, so you're good. And I'm like, so she comes over and we have this conversation because she was everything that I liked. I like women who 5'3", she was 5'2". She had huge titties, little waist, fat ass, pretty toes. She was my prototype, even though she was extremely young. And you know what I kept doing? I kept fucking her. Because I was like, at this point, I fucked her 15 times. And it was just like, the crime was done. So I just kept fucking her from she was 17 to 22. And R. Kelly and I are similar, but we're very different. Because I have safeguards. I know when I'm getting out of control. And I kind of ran analysis on this. And she was older. Her parents weren't breathing down her neck. And this is how a lot of young girls end up with older dudes. Their parents are not heavily involved in their lives, where they have the time and the freedom to get away with this stuff. And her parents didn't check her. She'd go out, she'd spend the night out. Her parents were like, she came home alive, cool. Her parents were not on her. So I didn't have to worry about catching a charge from the parents. And once...
And he went over to their apartment, and that he effed the other girl on the couch. Then he turned around, the mother, and they were watching. And then he turned around and effed, whoever else was there, which were underage minors. Now, this is very disturbing, and I'm surprised, because the way I look at this is like this. They will copyright strike you if you put out transformative content, which you're using from public, and you're using public clips, your videos, whatever. I could put in a GIF video and they will copyright strike me. It's ridiculous. On my other channel, because I have like a movie review type channel called The Throne Room, and they do it all the time. And I'm just like, I'm almost like to the point where I don't even want to post anymore. So, because it's just like you can't create the things you want without having someone stifle you, and they're cutting the video down and telling you that you have a copyright strike, and you want people to see it everywhere, so you remove the parts of it. With that being said, he's on here talking crazy and starting his whole situation. He started his whole broadcast saying, I could have been a predator. You are a predator. And now, if anybody that didn't watch this, I will be giving you more of that you heard at the beginning up next. Now, tell me your thoughts if you think that this man is a predator, because I certainly think that he is. What man in their right mind? Now, after you've noticed that these people are not the age, he already knew they were young, because it sounds like the mother set this up. But I think there's a lot of people that are a little lost on this, because they'll say, oh, the mom's a hoe. She offered the daughters, and he's using R. Kelly as an anchor because he knows that R. Kelly and him have a similar fetish for young girls. He even started to talk about how he should have known, because the way that her anatomy sat up there. And I'm not going to get deep into this because I'm not him. I'm not a vulgar man that wants to get on here and talk dirty to you, so that I can make myself feel cool. I've been on his stream, and I had watched him. My last straw was hearing his own personal relationships, which had nothing to do with entrepreneurship to me. It really didn't. So I stopped watching him. So it's a very big shock to me. And then after that, there was another YouTuber that went on him, and forgive me if I don't know who he is. He probably doesn't know who I am, so it doesn't really matter. But I have watched some of his shows, passing by, and you can't be a fan of everyone that you mention. So if someone tries to pretend like, oh yeah, I was a big fan of the person that just made a big viral hit, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to do that, and I'm not going to. But some people feel like moving like that, that's up to you. But this man is a predator, and he should be removed. Now, if Logan Paul gets removed for being in the gardens where people are killing themselves, which is very That would be something that you definitely want to go ahead and do that for. But I don't know. I really don't. Well, I'll talk back to you later. Bye.